next fly we're going to tie is a zonker minnow. I love this fly. Fantastic. Very, very effective. And this fly incorporates everything I look for in a minnow. It's got the right profile, it's got those big minnow-esque eyes, and it moves fantastically. Fish love it. It's also very simple to tie, and it incorporates some great techniques. For this fly, we need the following. We need a nice stout minnow hook. We need some mono, 30 pound, should do. And that's going to be for the tail guard. We need some zonker. You'll notice I've got two different colors here. We need some prism dubbing, some domed eyes, and then last but not least, I'm going to use a little bit of 140 denier, flat unwaxed thread. Right, let's tie the fly. The first thing I'm going to do is lay a foundation of thread on the entire hook shank. This I do so I can seat materials and so that my materials don't go sliding all over the place. Till there, that's fine. Cut the tag end. Next I've cut a small little piece of mono which I've folded, and this I'm going to tie on top of the hook shank, little loop, use a pinch strap, just tie it in. Don't worry too much about positioning it. You can position it after you've just got it in, like that. And you just wrap it all the way along. Now that tail loop is going to prevent the tail of the fly from wrapping around the bend of the hook when you're casting the fly, okay? So it's going to make it user-friendly. Bring the thread back to the end of the shank. And now I'm going to take a little piece of zonker. I'm going to, using a little bit of spit, I'm going to part the hair like that, place the zonker on top of the hook shank, and then just tie it in. Very nice. Now I take a little bit of prism dubbing. Put a little bit of dubbing on the thread, nice and tight. And just dub on those thread wraps where you secured the zonker in. That'll make it a little bit more durable. And now you dub the body. Dub small amounts, okay? That way you have more control while you're dubbing. So you just dub, there we go. And you're going to dub about 2/3 of this hook shank. Just till about there. Perfect. Now you're going to bring the zonker over. Part the hair again with a bit of spit. Spit's a wonderful thing in fly tying. Hold the zonker and just tie it in with a couple of firm wraps. That's why I like thicker thread, so I can muscle the material in. Okay, cut off the excess. Ah, beautiful. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my olive zonker and I'm going to put it in my third hand. I'm going to take a bulldog clamp or clip. I'm going to put my hair in that bulldog clip like this. I'm going to then cut the fur from the hide or the skin or the zonker strip like this. Okay, good. And now I'm going to split the thread. We did a similar thing when we tied the clippies and kolgans, but there we used a half hitch and a loop. Here I'm going to do the same thing, but slightly different. instead of making a half hitch with the loop, I'm going to physically split the thread. And the way you do that is you make sure that you are working with a flat thread. So let the thread unspin or untwist, and then using a sharp needle, you just poke the thread in the middle, just like that, and you split it, put your finger in there. Now you take your zonker, you place it in there, and you just release that. Make sure that you work on the very tips of the hair where you cut it off. So on the blunt edge of the hair, just like that. Make sure you hold this with your left finger at a 90-degree angle, okay? If you don't do that, the hair is going to spin up on itself and you're going to have a problem. You're looking for a nice bottle brush effect. Okay, and just spin, and every now and then you're going to have to lift this like this. Spin it and lift it. Ah, beautiful. Spin and lift. Sounds like a gymming commercial. Okay, so now you wrap this, you brush it back, wrap. Brush it back, wrap. Where did we do this before? Yes, that's at the soft hackle. So you just brush, wrap, brush, wrap, brush, wrap, brush, wrap, brush, wrap, and all the way till the end. Okay? Now I let the thread unspin or untwist, because now with all this wrapping it's twisted itself up, and then I just whip finish it. Cut this off. Okay, now you'll notice, if you look at this nicely, you'll see there's fur all over the place. You can fish the fly just like this, okay? And it'll be nice. But it's going to have more of a leech-like action. It's not going to give you that extreme minnow effect. What I'm going to do is, using the eyes, I'm going to squeeze this hair like this, so you have a narrower profile when viewed from the top. That's going to ensure that when you move this minnow, if you had to do this, it's going to move like this. It's going to have a little kick, okay? And that fish find irresistible. So all I'm going to do is take my eyes, okay, take a little bit of super glue, dip them in that. Okay. Start on the side closest to me. Put the eye in. Nice. There's a little bit of glue on these eyes already, but it's not sufficient to keep them there. So you need super glue as well. I use the glue to stick to my tweezer like that, and then I dip them in the glue. Hold them on just like that, and use my thumb, and I just stick them on. So notice how those eyes have pushed those zonker fibers together, giving us a nice thin profile when you see the fly from the top. This affects the movement positively. You get a lovely minnow movement by squashing the hair like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this tail slightly, just like that. Okay. And then if I want to shape this zonker, I can literally just pull little bits off it like this. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Velcro and I'm just going to tease out this prism dubbing on the underside just to get us a bit of flash going. And there you have the zonker minnow.